These marble arches, assembled from finds at Alife Duomo in southern Italy and dated to the 1130s, stand out among the objects in the Duke Brummer collection. On their fronts we find Romanesque motifs, such as grotesques contorted into a scroll and classicizing acanthus patterns, but we are especially struck by what we find on their backs. Classical motifs, in particular Hellenistic statue drapery and Roman entablature moldings, proclaim that these arches are spolia, reused antique material. Although these details were originally hidden from view, the stone itself made a statement of historic authority on behalf of the cathedral's patrons, Norman Count Rainulf III and Alife's bishop. Alife, however, was not unique in its reuse of historic stone. We argue here that the arches result from standard practices for obtaining and reworking spolia shared among neighboring dioceses in the 12th century. Furthermore, these practices were ultimately dependent upon the distribution of marble during Roman times. By mapping the ancient commercial geography of marble, we may better grasp its influence on later generations of builders. Stone sample readings have revealed that our 9 marble blocks were originally sourced from at least 5 different marble quarries across the Roman Empire, including Carrara, Iznik, Usac, Aphrodisias, and Perus. The marble was removed in large blocks, then shipped to Italy, likely docking on the Tyrrhenian coast rather than an Adriatic port, which would have required extensive travel by land. At a major port such as Pozzuoli, the blocks could have been collected over time in a stockpile before broken down and dispatched further inland for private commissions. Although we cannot match our individual marble pieces to specific Roman buildings, much can be learned from conjecturing one stone's path from Pozzuoli to Alife, using buildings representative of its style as our guides. This fragment is characteristic of microarchitectural tomb adornment, evident from its small scale and simplified molding. In the tomb seen here, standardly cut entablature blocks are used to provide the necessary decorative elements, while the bulk of the structure is made, more cheaply, of brick. This kind of tomb is especially common in necropoli along the Appian Way. Alife's necropolis, accessible via a connecting road, would have fed off the same market and may have contained similar tombs. Rather than traveling by land, however, the marbles could have been brought more cheaply along the Tyrrhenian coast and then carried by barge down the Volturno River and its tributaries. The majority of this traffic might have been destined for the intersection of the Appian Way, marked by the major civitas of Capua, but our stones could have continued onwards towards Alife, passing within a few kilometers of the town on the south side. Our marble blocks, despite having to travel a long way from disparate Roman quarries, might well have been combined at an early point in the journey before concluding their itinerary in Roman Alife.